Good morning, everybody, and wish you all a very happy, fulfilled New Year. May I request all of you to please rise for the universal prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves at one with Thee know they are therefore one with every other. Thank you. Please take your seats, and we will now have the lighting of the lamp by the International President, Mr. Tim Boyd. The lamp having been lit, we are all ready now to hear the inaugural address by our International President, Mr. Tim Boyd. Tim?
Well, greetings one and all, and for probably the 10th or 20th time this morning you have heard it, Happy New Year. For me, this is always quite a wonderful occasion, since this is the tradition that the International President addresses this convention on the first day of the month. So New Year's Day is always something that is kind of punctuated for me with this opportunity to share with the members of the Indian section. I do have to say, I have been here at Aaddress, it's going on 11 years now. And, the job has all of its different intricacies and requirements, but I do have to say that over the entire period that I have been here, I have been so grateful at every stage for the cooperation and the participation of the Indian section. It makes life an awful lot easier to be able to know that behind you stands such a group as this body here. But anyway, Happy New Year to you, Happy New Year to me, to all of us. Part of the importance of an occasion like this, as was said in the earlier talks this morning, to some extent, it's something that is a creation of our own minds, this idea of a new year. But it's a good one. I think when we have such milestones, very often it calls upon us, and we call upon ourselves to commemorate it in different ways. The way that's most normal, at least in the United States, people make resolutions. Not to say that they keep them, but they do make them. And at the beginning of the year, any sporting goods store that you go to, there will be no more treadmills to purchase because they've all been bought. There will be no more weights to buy because everybody has purchased them. Although they end up being doorstops, by about the time you get to March, the resolution is made. And that's a habit for us. And it's a good habit to take some sort of accounting, to assess where we are at this first day of what we call our new year. Where are we? And what is it that we really wish and desire for this coming year? That's something that we have to think about as individuals and as members of an organization such as this. On the individual level, you do find that most of the resolutions tend to be for some degree of self-improvement. People want to be more fit, change your diet, work out more frequently, read more often, perhaps learn to handle your finances a little better. All of these are wonderful things. But I think it is also worthwhile at moments such as this to perhaps take a deeper look and to ask ourselves, what is it that is in fact our deepest desire, our deep aspiration? What is that thing? Because very often it tends to be something that in the hustle and bustle and requirements of family life, of working life, of just life in general, but we don't allow ourselves the time. And it goes unnoticed, and it goes unspoken. But what is it? And to point to that, and to put our attention to that, and to give some commitment to that, if it's something that is sufficiently moving. So we commit, perhaps, in this year to having a sense of ourselves as being more whole, less fragmented. Maybe we can commit to being more loving during the course of this year. We can commit to being more available to be an outpost of the consciousness of the Master. I think for many of us, such things are deep within us, but largely unexpressed. And as a result of that, largely unnoticed. And as a result of that, they fail to grow. They fail to see the light of day. But we can do that. And we must. We can commit that during this coming year, we will be more capable in our service to what was described by the masters as orphaned humanity. Now, what makes humanity an orphan? And an orphan, by any definition, is someone who, for some reason, is cut off from their parent or their parents. The orphaned condition of humanity is one that, of course, is self-generated, it's self-inflicted. And while we don't even recognize that it's going on, we tend to try and tell ourselves we enjoy our condition. But orphaned from the connection with that one life, that universal consciousness, that parent, eternal parent, that supports all of us, that supports us in everything we do and in every aspiration we dream toward. January 1st, first day of the year. Resolutions are possible. Resolutions that can perhaps be actually backed up by commitment. It's remarkable how we find ourselves growing through such things. But again, the tools, how do we do that? It's one thing to say I'm going to, but then, we're faced with the remaining 364 days. I've said I want to do it. I meant it. But how? What do I do? And probably it's not much of a secret to us. The tools that are demanded of us are the ones that we have made ourselves quite familiar with. And one of them, I would say, and this is a word that many people have some hesitancy with within the Theosophical world, is the idea that one of the marvelous tools that we have for bringing our deep, deep aspirations into being is something that is described by some as prayer. Prayer. But before we go on, for many people, prayer is the act of begging for some undeserved reward based on some formula of speech. That's not what we're talking about. That's the very thing that HPB and others labeled as something that's false, something that's so personal that it really has no value in terms of the spiritual life. It's not about begging. It's not about requesting the undeserved for the undeserving. The idea of this prayer is that we speak internally. No words are required, but we give voice to the deepest aspirations that we hold within our hearts, in the quiet of our own being. We reach out, we reach up, we request. And then, of course, we wait. The part that's often missed in people's prayer process is that they do a lot of asking, they do a lot of talking, they do a lot of representing, and then the conversation's over. I talk to God, but I haven't got time to listen to what he may have answered. If we're talking about a God sort of prayer. But the idea is this: we connect ourselves to the deep wellspring of our aspiring life. We settle within that, and then we sit quietly in the quiet, that same quiet that is identical to what we describe as meditation, is invoked in proper prayer. And we sit and we wait for the certainty of the response that is to come. The fact of the matter is that we live in a responsive universe. There's a beautiful prayer, and in fact we heard it and as one of the prayers of the world's religions when our session opened. Pedro, I think, was saying the Christian prayer. O God, unto whom all hearts lie open, unto whom desire is eloquent. It's beautiful words, but the idea is that the words spoken within us are eloquent, are persuasive to this universal consciousness within which we live, move, and have our being. It moves things to express. New Year's might not be a bad time to turn ourselves in that direction. We're also very much aware of the power, the tool that was spoken of earlier this morning as well, of a regular sort of a regular experiment with the ever-deepening, ever-nuanced powers of quiet. Often people speak of meditation when they sit down to be quiet, but quiet is very nuanced. There's the quiet that we can feel right now, all around us, a natural world that doesn't shout, but does speak, and speaks most eloquently when we're available to hear. But we settle into that sort of quiet. And in that quiet, we find that there are levels. It can go much, much deeper. That is something that is worthy of resolution as well. So prayer, quiet, and then of course all of this counts for little unless there is some sort of exertion, you could say, of the will. In the absence of a properly directed will, all of it falls apart. When we are intent on it, when we are serious with what we're saying, then the will becomes active and supports us in every effort. Out of that, the sort of commitment that we can make, the sort of resolution that we can make to be a force for good, to be a force for transformation in this world, that goes without saying. I see that each and every one of you is breathing, so I don't need to inform you that there are challenges surrounding us right now. 2025, we have the guarantee that it's going to be a year that is full of undetermined challenges. Why could I say that? Because I'm a human being, and because I'm able to look and to see the patterns of human behavior that have evolved all around us that seem to be unceasing. It's a difficult thing. All of us want to advance. There's an expression that some people use that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. It's one of those little funny ways of making the point that the sorts of changes, alterations that the Theosophical Society has been pointing to since its beginnings in human behavior, which has gone on unceasing. Well, of course, during our time, we start to see some of the cascading effects of wrongly directed human behavior. And those are things that are not going to go away just because we wish for it. But in the middle of that, the purpose of a convention such as this, the purpose of a society such as this Theosophical Society, is not only to promote the possibility for personal self-transformation. That in and of itself is transforming to the world, obviously. But that's not the purpose. That's not the reason for this effort. That's not what the Mahatmas took the enormous effort to try and help us in creating, just to have a place where a few of us could feel good because we made it. So there's something more. And I think part of what we have to learn, part of what we become aware of when we come together like this, is that none of this, although we may feel isolated, that isolation is actually impossible. Certainly, we can have that feeling and do and will. But the possibility of being disconnected from the universal intelligence and from each other, it's not a possibility. Settings like this, when we come together once again, when we stand in each other's presence, when that togetherness magnifies the intelligence that's dwelling in all of us, and the effect on the world around us. That's the point of this. To create a center, whether we're dispersed from one another or not, a center of consciousness that is so radiant that it necessarily impacts the world around us. And from that impact, gradually, none of this, the problem with everything that we feel is valuable, if you're a member of the Theosophical Society, the problem with everything that we value is that it is necessarily something that takes place over the long term. And the natural desire is for us to see some results now. But this is a very long-term process. And quite honestly, anything that is genuinely worth the efforts of a human life, the personal effort required, the focus of study, of prayer, of experimenting with quiet, anything that rates our efforts at that level is necessarily going to be something that will not be fulfilled in any one person's lifetime. I mean, face it. Buddha came to the world. He was here for 80 years, 50 of those years in an enlightened state. He died. Jesus, he had 33 good years. He died. Krishnamurti, 90 years. Spoke, tried to impress something, and left. And what have we done with it? I think clearly it's not that it has had no effect, it has had a major effect. But again, great teachers, avatars, have lived and died without the fulfillment of their purpose for coming here to move among us. So, if that's true for such people as that, who am I? But who I am is the person that they have told me I am, which is basically one unit in the consciousness of a much greater life. And the beauty is that as this unit that we are becomes activated, then it's something that has great power. But some of those things we see while we're here. Other things we'll witness when we come back. And even then it won't be done. But now, what I would encourage, it's New Year's Day. If you haven't made a resolution, if that's not something that you do even, at least take some portion of today quietly to check in, and then to ask yourself about the world you would dream, about the person that you are, that you would dream, and dream it. 1st of January comes around once a year, but let's think about the 2nd of January as being yet another new year, and the 3rd, and the 4th. You get the point. As always, I always appreciate this moment to share with you all. It's something that is refreshing for me. So thank you again for taking the time to listen. And I thank Pradeep again for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tim. It is indeed so nice of you to spend some time with the Indian section every year, despite being extremely busy during this international convention. Everyone appreciates hearing you, and your words, I think, would have registered well in everyone's mind. Now, whilst Tim is still with us, I would like to give the award that the Indian section gives every year to the Theosophist of the Year. It is called the Dr. Radha Burnier Award of the Theosophist of the Year. And this year, the award has been given by the Executive Committee of the Indian section to Brother Sanat Kumar of the Karnataka Federation. Tim, may I request you to please hand over this award? I'll just briefly talk about Sanat ji. I can complete my entire address talking about Sanat Kumar, but very briefly, he is the member of the Executive Committee of the Indian section for about 8 years and has contributed immensely to it. He has also served a DR providing the food that you all know, you love and you enjoy. So he is like the Annapurna of our Indian section. He is the acting president, working president of the Karnataka Theosophical Federation and the vice president of the Bangalore City Lodge. Early in the morning, he gets up and starts to work for the Theosophical Society and sleeps late. One thing he's very good at is feeding everyone. And yesterday, both Tim Boyd and I had to go around that place where he stands because he would catch us, and then once he catches us, there is no way to stop him giving us food. So, Tim, if you can please hand over this award to Brother Sanat Kumar. Sanatji, if you'd like to.
Good morning to everybody. It is with great humility and gratitude that I accept the Dr. Radha Burnier's Award for the Best Theosophist 2024 and 25. As a second generation Theosophist, I have been fortunate to be part of this community since my childhood. The society teachings have had a profound impact on my life, inspiring me to embody the values of compassion, empathy, and selfless service. Over the past 20 years, I had the privilege of serving in various roles, including Secretary of Bangalore City Lodge, Working President of Karnataka Theosophical Federation, and Vice President of Bangalore City Lodge. The experiences have not only deepened my understanding of theosophical principles, but also instilled me a sense of responsibility to uphold them. I am reminded Radhaji's wise words, quote, "If love of truth and compassionate action are part of the whole theosophy world, we will attract much more attention and goodwill," unquote. May this recognition inspire me to continue serving for excellency in service and to deepen my commitment to the Master's noble cause. Thank you once again for this prestigious award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanatji. And we request you not to force food to us from now onwards. We've even given you the award. Just for your information, the first Radha Burnier Award was given to Pradeep Mahapatraji, who is right here today. And then the second one was given to Brother U.S. Pandey, who is also sitting over here. And the third one to the omnipresent Brother Narayanan, who is also over here. And the fourth award has been given to Brother Sanat Kumar. Now there is a very brief book release function, and I will request Mr. Pandya to request Tim Boyd to release the book. Come, you can say a few words. Yes. There is no problem.
friends, brothers and sisters. This is one of the wonderful book. It was originally written in Gujarati when a 13-year-old daughter passed away in an accident. Before her death, she got an intuition what in the morning today lecture our speaker said, Shikhar ji, that she is going to die. After that, the parents were in a sorrow. Our ex-recording secretary and the general secretary of the Indian section, Brother Rohit Mehta ji, guided them. The Theosophy, what principle they say about the soul and other things. The soul is different, physical body is different, law of karma, and all that experiences which the parents got has been written in this book. This has been translated into the English language. I want each and every one of you to buy it from the Kasi Villa. The proceeds of this will be used for the Olcott Education School. I have told them that give it free of charge to the Theosophical Society because it's based on the Theosophical principles what they got it, and so every one of us can buy it from there. I will request Brother Tim Boyd to release the book. Yes. Yes, just open it and give it to Pradeep ji.
Face it to them. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Thank you, Tim. Thank
Yes,
you.
you can give it to Brother Tim also.
Thank you.
And we can give it to Brother Narayanan ji
And the award winners.
and the award winner
Sanat ji,
Sanat ji.
US Pandey.
And U.S. Pandey, our international lecturer.
I've already 5 copies.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Brother Tim.
Thank you very much, everybody. And now we have to go to our next agenda item, which is the State of the Indian Section Address. Now, I'll give you a little bit of history. When this address was given way back by Mr. Sundaram, I used to sit on the last row, half asleep, because I just, it was just so long. So when I have to give that address, so now I feel that there may be many that may be saying that now, this address and let's all go to sleep. Just so that you don't go to sleep, I have tried to change a few things this time. Mr. Vinayak Pandya also told me that why are you just reading your address? You got to recite what you say. And I said, well, it's quite a challenge because there are so many numbers, there are so many activities, there are so many people that are involved. But I said, I'm going to try. So please forgive me if I make mistakes, but I'm going to try and not read. Well, I will start by saying that I'm very pleased to inform you all that the state of the Indian section is very healthy and very good at the present time. The highlight of the year that has just gone by was a monumental moment for all of us at the Indian section. We won the case for mutation of ownership of the Varanasi land from Upendranath Basu to our name, the name of the Indian section. Now, this was something that has been a problem for the last 120 years, right from the beginning. Somehow, by a slip, the entire piece of land where the Indian section has its headquarters continued to be in the name of Upendranath Basu, who was the General Secretary in 1907 when the land was purchased by Annie Besant. And people just would not change this. And they all said that it is very difficult to make this kind of a change 120 years after that. And in fact, they asked me, why didn't you do it as soon as you came? And I said, sir, I've just become the president and I have tried my level best to get this thing changed, and you please help. It's very hard in the government in Uttar Pradesh. This had to be done in a very clean way. You all understand by what that means. So it was exceedingly difficult. I spent hours and hours sitting at the revenue office, date after date, and trying to convince, to no avail. But 6 years after this case was first launched, finally when I was in Iceland, I got a call saying that we have won the case and now it is in the name of the Indian section. So this was a very, very big thing for all of us, something to be very proud of. The second most important thing that happened was it is the third successive increase in membership of the Indian section from 12,231 to 13,506. This is an increase of 1,275 members, or 10.4%, with 2,313 new members, a majority of them being young members. The next highlight was the kind of propagation work that we have been doing, led by Brother Pradeep Mahapatra. Pradeep Mahapatra alone has organized hundreds of lectures online, and along with Brother U.S. Pandey, Taral Munshi, who you all know through Triveni Tuesday, Shikhar and Catalina, and many others have been giving on an average at least one lecture every day. So you will never be losing touch of Theosophy. And I think that kind of a work is just amazing, because I realize that at many places they would record that, okay, during the year 12 lectures were given. But here I can't even list the lectures that these people have given. And it's such a nice work that has been going on. Of course, the next highlight is something that you just witnessed, Brother Sanat Kumar being selected for the Dr. Radha Burnier Award for the Theosophist of the Year. And the next big thing was that an 8-member selection committee was formed without my involvement, and them selecting 104 members for attending the 12th World Congress at Vancouver. The Indian section will be sponsoring them, so that the Indian section will pay for their registration, for their boarding and lodging, and more importantly, the return airfare. Somebody was asking me, you're sure it's the return airfare? No, it's not one way. And I said, yes, no problem at all. It will be a return airfare. The next highlight, of course, is you must have been reading the issues, the monthly issues of the Indian Theosophist. And I tell you, as a monthly Theosophical section magazine, it is one of the best. It is not something that entirely have been produced by me. Most of it is the work of our former GS, Brother S. Sundaram, who works tirelessly on this day after day, every month. One of the other highlights was that we have Brother Shyam Singh Gautam of Kanpur from the UP and Uttarakhand Federation, who has been translating this every month within a span of about 5 days so that it is printed and published in Hindi. Now, this has been a big asset for those people that could not understand English very well, the Northern Belt, Madhya Pradesh, and all the surrounding states. It is very popular there. A similar offer has been made by Dr. Patri of the Rayalaseema Federation, who has volunteered to ensure that the translation of this is made in Telugu. And I have agreed to that, and the executive committee has approved the translations. Unfortunately, we are awaiting for the Rayalaseema Federation and the Telugu Federation to tell us how many members specifically want this so that we can decide the number that has to be printed. Another very interesting thing that has happened, which is a shoot-off from the ropeway project. There were people that were now and then asking us for using our way in the Indian section to go to the ropeway project. And that was the construction company Samudra Engineering that was building this. And we discussed with them, Mr. Narayanan being and having a keen sense of money, says, why don't we ask them that if you want to do this on a daily basis, why don't you rent the land for the time that you are going to work there? Well, they planned to work for 18 months, and we agreed to release this rent for this work at 4 lakhs rupees per month. Now, this is the kind of thing that the Indian section treasurer keeps on doing so that the coffers of the Indian section remain full. A new Lord Shiva and Bharat Samaj temple has been constructed in pure white marble, and it is a lovely piece of architecture that has been done, and it was opened I believe on the 1st of October of the year that just went by. And whenever you get a chance to come to Varanasi, I'm sure you will appreciate this lovely building, a lovely temple that we now have. After all this, I was always unhappy about the look of the Indian section from outside, because we had those shabby, half-falling buildings right from the main entrance till the post office. That was roughly 1,818 square feet. And we found a buyer that is now ready to pay us a deposit of 2 crores and then rent of 2 crores every year, so that he could build a building over there for showrooms on the ground floor and offices on the upper floors. He has been made to agree to give us space for a lovely bookshop right on the ground floor, as well as a dispensary. You know, I tell you about the propagation of Theosophy, and so many things are happening. The quarterly e-newsletter called the Indian Section Newsletter Insight, started by Sister Suvralina Mohanty and Brother Pradeep Mahapatra, has started a YouTube channel called Theosophy India. And this is yet another way of propagating Theosophy. Well, the Indian Section Convention 1 and 2 last year took place right here at the Adyar Theatre. Vinay Patri spoke on the meaning of illumination from within. Harsha spoke on how to get illumination from within. Adikeshav Shastri spoke about the advantage of having illumination from within. Harshvardhan Sheth spoke on consciousness as source of illumination. Our international vice president was the chief guest at this function, and she started giving her views on this subject. There was an election in the Indian Section Council last year for the post of the treasurer, but the aura of Narayanji is so far-reaching that there was no other candidate but him, and he was declared elected as the treasurer. At the Indian Section headquarters, the 176th birth anniversary of Dr. Annie Besant was celebrated on 1st October 2023. The Foundation Day was celebrated on 18th November 23. The Aaddress Day was celebrated on 17th February 2024, and White Lotus Day was celebrated on 8th May 2024. Eastern Theosophical Conference had its 100th anniversary, and it was organized here in Aaddress from 29th to 31st March. The Indian Section Study Camp, which is conducted regularly every year for 3 days, was conducted, and Brother N.C. Krishna spoke on the way of self-knowledge. More than 100 delegates had attended that camp. Now, it is very interesting that every year, by and large, we try to keep this on 28th to 30th or 29th to 31st, because on 31st October, then we all celebrate the death anniversary of Radha Burnier. There were some complaints from the northern side, particularly from the Bihar Federation, that they say that you keep everything in English. So we would like to have something in Hindi. And I said, well, I mean, so be it. We started to conduct a study camp in Hindi, and it was organized by Brother S.K. Pandey on the book, The Techniques of the Spiritual Life by Clara Codd. A study camp at the Himalayan Study Center, Bhowali, with 7 federations and the TOS India in attendance, took place during the summer of 2024. And I know I have received a lot of interest from the delegates, as well as other Theosophists who keep on telling that the facility is too small. We had to balance ourselves because we can't build a huge structure over there with so little use, because we could hardly use it for about 3 months in a year. But anyway, even the reservations I had were overruled by the General Council meeting yesterday, and we have decided to take the adjacent land now so that another building can be constructed, and so that more persons from every federations can take advantage of such camps. There was a workshop, a very unique workshop, again planned, envisioned and executed by Mr. Narayanan on human intelligence versus artificial intelligence. Needless to say, at the end of the workshop, they concluded that human intelligence won. We also had propagation of theosophy in new areas that have never been touched earlier. The president of the Assam Federation, Brother Bipul Sharma, was the man who planned to start a new Theosophical lodge in Arunachal Pradesh. He made several visits there along with his team, and this will be a new frontier for us now. Similarly, a very active president of the Marathi Federation, brothers Sanjay Putte, has already started a lodge in Goa. And I was so happy to see that the president of the temporary lodge that has been started is already in attendance at this convention. So we are broadening our frontiers also, and it's something to be very proud of. If I give you the details of the next national lecturers' visit, the entire day will go through, because there were 25 national lecturers, and some of them had more than 100 lectures that they had given to different places. So I will not go into them, but 25 national lecturers giving so many lectures all over India. As a rule, the Indian section reimburses all the expenses incurred of traveling by these national lecturers to different places. So your federations and lodges should not hesitate in inviting them. The Besant Education Fellowship Program is going on very well. It is running the Besant Theosophical School and VKIC, Vasant Kanya Inter College, both of which good work is being done, and the students are doing very well there. I know most of these things are happening because you people are giving me these ideas. And somebody had come and told me that, I believe somebody from the Telugu Federation, that why don't you record the number of users and the number of visits to the Indian section website? And I had no idea that something like that could be done. But we've been now doing it. And the Indian section website last year had 5,995 users and 6,052 visits. The Theosophical Order of Service in India has done excellent progress under the leadership of Brother Kumar, Brother Shiv Prasad. Very good progress in enrollment was made with 127 new members. And I'm so happy to also say that number of delegates from the 105 that we have going to Vancouver are members of TOS who will be staying over for the TOS World Conference at Vancouver. The Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya College, I've already talked about VKIC and BTS. The Annie Besant Primary School and the hostel are all doing very well. Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya is a NAAC accredited A grade school, and it has tremendous demand. And I've just heard 2 days back that we've got an additional faculty approved now by Banaras Hindu University for teaching commerce also. So far we were only teaching arts and fine arts. So now we'll be also teaching commerce. New building has been built in which there is a large computer room where we have purchased 105 good quality computers, which the students are all using, so that our graduates, when they go out, would all be familiar with the use of the computers. I'm not going to say much about the financial position because I'll let Mr. Narayanan speak about that. But once again this year, we had a surplus of 2 crores, despite having gone through some tough times. And it's less than the one for the previous year, which was 2.5 crores. But I'm sure in the years to come, this will all be set right. the most interesting thing is, for the first time in the history of the Indian section, we paid income tax about 1.19 crores. This happened because the 38 crores that we received for the land that was acquired by the government of Uttar Pradesh had to be taken into consideration. Now, that 38 crores was never taxed. Otherwise, we would have lost probably about 10 crores in tax or 12 crores in tax. What was taxed was, see, we have a very unique arrangement in Varanasi, and our brilliant accountant, chartered accountant, he's our auditor also. He has showed a way that we don't have to pay any tax forever except for this year. The reason being that our Vasant Kanya Vidyalay, VKM, Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalay, our college is a grant-in-aid college with the salaries of all the professors being paid by the government. Now that amount comes to about 10 crores. There is an income tax rule that he has found out, section 11 something, which says that if your income other than the college amounts to less than 50% of the total income, then there will be no tax. So for us, as long as our total income is not more than 20 crores per year, we will not have any tax. Unfortunately, in that aspect, we did not get the benefit. And so that 37.9 crores that we got was included, and hence we had to pay this tax. But otherwise, we will not have to pay tax in the future. Well, about tasks ahead, I have already mentioned in detail in the annual report, and there are a lot of things that we have in mind. But I always try to put the brakes on the wonderful thinking of service that all the executive committee members have. Believe me, whatever has been achieved by and large is the product of the push and the ideas of our executive committee. And they are now considering starting a place where we will provide food for those that are hungry, that sleep hungry every day. And there are so many in Varanasi like that. And we have decided we will provide food to 1,000 people every day, costing roughly about 30 rupees per person. This will be a huge expense. It will be more than 1 crore definitely. But we are planning to do this because when we are having this kind of money, money should not be accumulated, it should be spent. But spent keeping in mind that in the future we may need funds. So we should not just spend everything. And that balance is being taken care of by our treasurer. He will not let anyone spend anything. Even if I want to spend something, I have to get his approval. There is also a thought to have, once again start the dispensary that we had for the poor people. As soon as the new building is constructed, we will start that dispensary and we will start giving that free service. A lovely amphitheater is being built and you all will enjoy it because it's a huge amphitheater with a seating capacity of 2,000. And the stage is a multi-purpose building. It can be closed on all 4 sides and can be used as a meeting room where up to 60 people can sit at a time for a meeting. So the Indian Section Council, which does not have a good place right now in Varanasi to meet, because the Annie Besant Hall has those big pillars in between, will now really enjoy, and it will be an air-conditioned room. So it's an air-conditioned room come stage, in such a huge, wide stage. So we envision that all the 4 educational institutions will be making use of it. The construction of that has already started, and we look forward to completing that by the end of next year. I think this is it. I would like to thank all the people that have supported me, starting with Mr. Narayanan, who has been with me all along in everything that has been going on for the last 8 years of my stay there. And then we also have Mr. Dar, who is an executive committee member who lives in Varanasi. We have Mrs. Uma Bhattacharya. Unfortunately, she's very ill and she has to take care of her health, so she could not be over here. We have all other executive committee members that I must be very grateful to for the kind of support they have given me. Many times I try to do too many things, and it is they who try to pacify me. I will also want to thank our staff. We have a total of 36 members of staff. And can you imagine, we just have 3 sweepers that are looking after 16 acres of trees full of leaves falling all over. It's they who keep that clean. We have very honest and dedicated guards. We have a very good gardener, so that the new lawns that we have made now at the Indian section, where we have a lovely fountain which is lighted every night, all that requires maintenance, and these people are doing the job. Our administrative man, Rajkumar Pandey, and above all, our IT expert, Om Prakash Yadav, and most of you must have contacted him. He also looks after the renewal of membership. He has been so very hardworking. He works even on Sundays. Even though I have not asked him, he would come and complete his work. Dedicated people like him, Madhuji, who looks after basically the administration at the headquarters, and then of course our accountant, Mr. A.N. Singh. I would like to thank all of them for all their support. I wish and pray that the Indian section makes even further progress in the days to come. Thank you all very much. Mr. Narayanan will now talk about his. If Mr. Tim, if we can just have greetings from all the representatives. They will not take more than 30 seconds each. And I'll appreciate, they'll be happy to have you when they are giving the greetings. So can we start from Assam? A, capital A, alphabetically number 1.
Yeah, I'm the
Please
first.
go ahead.
Assam
Just
is
in
first.
30 seconds, not more
Yeah.
than 30 seconds each, please.
I rise on behalf of Assam Theosophical Federation. It is always nice to be here at Aaddress, and especially in the 1st of January. I, on behalf of Assam Theosophical Federation, having nearly 700 members from 24 lodges, have the pleasure to convey our warm greetings and best wishes for the successful completion of the Indian section convention as well as 149th International Convention. May this be an inspirational and fruitful one. Thank you.
Representative Bengal Theosophy Federation, respected Kumar.
That's all right, don't worry.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So, my words are few because 30 seconds time. So I cannot speak. My heart is full of, I may not a sheer or noble man, So I cannot giving first year's blessings by love to each and every member who are sitting on the dais from north to south and east to west, India, and all the Theosophists, the pure heart, because you heard Theo in morning to very, very beautiful lecture of Shekhar, is the, I think, is the youngest philosopher of India. I don't know whether you Shekhar or not. So he asked me to put Theosophy corner in my heart. So my full of love to each and everybody in 2019 to 2025. Okay? So 30 minutes, second is over. So I don't like to utter a single word.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am Vinayak Pandya on behalf of the Bombay Theosophical Federation. I bring warm greetings to all of you, and for the theosophical work should go further and further. We are also thankful that masters always bring somebody who gives the work. Luckily, we have Taral Munsi in our federation who has started Triveni Tuesday plus children's activity also, and with the dramas, the number of people that is attracted and the theosophical principles are conveyed are wonderful. I will request all of you to buy one book, Springs in the Atman of Death, read it, and try to digest that principle. The proceeds of that will be used for the Olcott Education School. Thank you very much.
I am Harshavardhan Seth, respected International President Team Boyd, and very strong pillar of the Indian section, Pradeep Singh ji Gohil, and all my colleagues of different federations. I bring hearty greetings from the Gujarat Theosophical Federation, all the 21 lodges and 1,032 members of the Gujarat Theosophical Federation. The contingent of the Gujarat here, they have come, that is 19 members from Gujarat. Thank you very much.
Very good. Well done. Done it in 30 seconds. Yes.
I am Vinay Kumar Patri, representing the Madras Theosophical Federation. I wish you all a very happy and theosophy propagating and prosperous and enlightening new year. Thank you. That was 19 seconds.
I, U.S. Pandey, on behalf of more than 3,000 members of the UP, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand Federation, and my own behalf, I convey my warm and hearty greetings to all of you and to our respected International President, National Treasurer, and again to all the delegates. Best wishes and Happy New Year. Thank you.
I am Narayan Rao. On behalf of Rayalaseema Theosophical Federation, convey our warm greetings to 149th International Convention and Indian Section Convention for all, from all our federation members from 43 lodges and 1,600 plus members. Thank you.
Happy New Year, all delegates who are here. My name is K.S. Ramchandra Rao, President, Telugu Federation. On behalf of all the members of Telugu Federation, I convey my best wishes, hearty greetings and best wishes. I hope this Indian Section Convention will be a grand success. Thank you.
I am Vijayalakshmi from Salem, Tamil Federation. I wish you all best wishes and warm wishes from all our federation members to have a grand success in this International Convention and Indian Convention. Thank you.
Namaskar. Very, very happy and prosperous Happy New Year. I, Mitalin Chaudhary, on behalf of Utkal Theosophical Federation, convey my hearty greetings to you all and wish the grand success of this convention.
All the dignitaries on the dais and the Theosophical fraternity in front of me. I am M.S. Sridhara from the Karnataka Theosophical Federation, which is one of the largest federations, having about 2,800 members. Okay. On the behalf of the Karnataka Federation, I want to convey the heartiest wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
On behalf of Marathi Theosophical Federation, I am Arun Palkrut. Extend our greetings to success the convention of Indian section and also the international section. Thank you very much.
Myself, Raj Kishore Prasad, Secretary, Bihar Theosophical Federation, give my hearty greetings and best wishes for the success of the Indian Section Convention 1 and also for the 149th International Convention. I also wish a happy and prosperous New Year for all of us. One thing I want to say in Hindi, आपके आने से बहार आई है, सूखी पत्तियां भी मुस्काई हैं, सदर की साख सूखने वाली थी, आपकी रहमत ने जान लाई है. Thank you.
Namaskar, I am Rajiv Kumar Mathur from Delhi Federation. I extend warm greetings on behalf of all the members of the Theosophical Society, Delhi Federation.
Thank you very much, all of you. All of you were absolutely in time. The Kerala Federation, there were two delegates. One of them had come who had left, but we have an administrator for the Kerala Federation now. Brother N.C. Krishna is here, and I request him to come and give greetings on behalf of the Kerala Federations, because we can't miss that. Brother Krishna is the administrator for the Kerala Federation, and he has already had a meeting with all the 13 lodges there, and he will now talk.
On behalf of the 14 lodges of the Kerala Theosophical Federation, I convey my heartfelt greetings for the success of this Indian Section Convention and the Internet Convention. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll request Tim Boyd now, of course. He's got many other things to go. I had made him sit as long as, so that he could see all the Federation heads talking. He can take leave. Thank you very much. So nice. And I will now request Pradeep Mahapatra ji to read the greetings that have been sent to us from all over India.
It is my turn to read the greetings from the different members who was forwarded through email, through writings. Brother Gokul Chandra Deka, Public City Officer, Assam Theosophical Office, he conveyed there is a grand convention, a grand success. Then M.S. Sridhar, as a Secretary of Karnataka Federation for the success of the Indian Section Convention. Then Sister Mahajavir Rustam Dalla, very hard-working lady of Bombay Federation. She convey warm regards to International President Tim Boyd, distinguished guests, and other members' success of the convention. Then Bina Patriji for the success of convention. There are many digital greetings and all conveyed success of the Indian Section Convention. Thanks. Thank you all.
And now the person that you've all been waiting to hear from where did he get all this money? So, Brother Narayan ji.
Greetings for the new year. I don't think anybody is waiting to hear this, because you have already heard whatever you have to hear. But briefly, I am just giving you the idea. The President was describing of filling up the coffers, So it is not a treasurer's report, how I earn the money, then how it is spent like that for the public. This has been presented to our General Council, General Body yesterday and passed. I will just go through a few points, 2-3 minutes, then you are relaxed. On the income side, as the President has already described, the surplus for the year ending 31st March 2024 is 2 crores 85,000 rupees. That is the surplus for the 31st March 2024, 9 months back. We are already in the next year. The total investment stood at 52 crores 3 lakhs 14,000. This consists of bank deposits and our investments and things like that. The total asset value of the Indian section after depreciation of more than 75 years stands at 12 crores 60 lakhs 3,000. During this period, we have received interest income of 3 crores from the banks on our deposits. Contributions received from the educational institutions and hostels and things like that. It works out to about 1 crore 83 lakhs. We have received an amount of 37 crores 97 lakhs 44,000 as compensation for the land acquired by the Uttar Pradesh government for the ropeway project in Varanasi, which already the President has reported about this. We have received a total interest of 3 crores 7 lakhs from the investments which I have already described. On the expenditure side, financial expenses, interest payouts and everything is 8 lakhs 64,000. Property repairs grant to federations and lodges. This is a grant given to different federations for the maintenance of buildings, repairs and things like that. We have spent about 1 crore 6 lakhs 6,000 during this period. Propagation of Theosophy, we have given a grant of 32 lakhs 44,000 rupees. This year, as the President has already described, we were subject to a taxation audit. And during the current year of what is running now, we have paid an income tax of 1 crore 19 lakhs. These are the salient features. Otherwise, everything is fine. And during the current year, we are also expecting to keep the momentum of filling up the coffers as well as spending it properly for theosophical work. Thank you.
I'm so happy that every one of you is sitting right from the beginning till now. And I think I'll try and give these kind of good news every year so that you can hear it and stay until the end. I thank you all very much for your participation, for coming here, and for tolerating all that we went through this morning. Thank you, and I declare the convention closed.